Hey guys, welcome to my next tropics video. It'll be another tropical discussion video. But first, I just want to say I hope everyone had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully, you guys all enjoyed your time off from school. I had Friday and Monday off, which was nice. A nice 4-day weekend, had fun, took a little break from YouTube. But I'm back now, and I also just want to say thank you for now 500 views. That's insane. I can't believe I've already gotten 500 views already in the just like about 3 weeks that I've been posting. But I've got like 33 subscribers now, which is also pretty awesome. So all right, let's now get into the video. Okay. All right. So we're looking at the Western Atlantic. This is the GFS model, 12Z model, most up-to-date run. And the National Hurricane Center is eyeing this area here of precipitation, giving it right now a 20% chance of development within the next 2 days and 5 days. Now, I have to tell you, I do disagree a good bit with the National Hurricane Center on this right now, because if we go to satellite imagery, we go to Gulf of Mexico now. We go to, Western Atlantic. Here we go. All right. You can see it's up here. And, it has a good bit of precipitation going along with it, and it has a good bit of circulation already with it. And it's actually kind of decently organized and strengthened a little bit. It's still generally over Florida, but it's starting to move out over the open Atlantic. And I do suspect that we'll see it start to organize more, and I do think it has a good chance of becoming, at the very least, a tropical depression, maybe subtropical depression. Now, I don't know if it'll become really a tropical storm. That remains to be seen. But that's interesting, honestly. I find that very interesting that the National Hurricane Center is still having this at a very low chance. I think their next update should be a lot earlier than what they're saying. Their next update will be at around 9 p.m. I think they definitely need to issue their next advisory a lot earlier than 9 p.m. Hopefully towards, like, I don't know, between 3 and 6 p.m. So, that's really this system that's currently being monitored by the Hurricane Center, which is very fascinating. Now, that subtropical system potentially going towards Wednesday through into this weekend, doesn't really look like it'll do anything at all. Just a big area of rain, and it's not really going to organize at all. So, honestly, that's just nothing. So the next real tropical threat that I'm sure a lot of you, including myself, we've been seeing, there's a good potential of that the GFS has actually been consistent with showing over the past week or so, I want to say at most, is going out towards the beginning of June. Especially once we get towards the first couple days of June, you can see this broader area of rain and thunderstorms, and then it gets a better circulation here of 1,001 millibars, and then it slowly starts to drift northward with this system. It gets a better closed area of low pressure, gets down to 994 millibars, and then just like, let's go to previous runs by the GFS. Now, it showed the system a lot stronger, by the way, with the 60 run this morning, showing it making landfall in the same general area, pretty much right over New Orleans, but as a 977 millibar, like Category 2, maybe even weak Category 3 hurricane, which is insane, of course. Highly doubt that'll happen. Let's see what the 00Z showed. Showed it. Oh, interesting. It really changed its trajectory of it. It showed 00Z overnight. Showed it crossing Florida into the Atlantic and then going out to sea, but that's clearly really not going to happen. So it's fascinating. It's kind of really just been generally consistent, though, lately, as of late, over the past couple days, showing it going north from the very western Caribbean, right, pretty much right over the Yucatan, north into the Gulf, and then pretty much going right over the New Orleans area. So let's look at the wind. Yeah, wind. Here we go. Wow, got a little bit of a sneak preview. All right, so you can see it starts to really form going into early June, June 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and then it really starts to really form, get a closed low, and its winds are quite strong, even though they're not really all that close to the center. Shows it having up to 58 knot winds, which is surprisingly decent. It could be a moderate to strong tropical storm with this latest run, since the pressure only shows it getting down to like 994 millibars. Well, I mean, we'll just have to see. We can see the wind field having it generally around tropical depression, tropical storm winds, almost fully around the especially the center of the system. Now, extreme closer to the center of the system, the winds are a lot lighter. We'll see this change a lot. Of course, this looks to potentially start to happen just really within the next week. By next Monday, which is the first day of June, the official first day of the hurricane season, the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season, starts in 7 days. I cannot believe that, honestly. And we're eyeing the potential of this maybe becoming our next kind of tropical system, whether or not it's actually really named, but it could be our next like tropical or subtropical depression. But really, I think we'll really just have to keep an eye on this Western Caribbean system going into the Gulf. This system. This is really the next big tropical threat I can see within the general near future. Of course, this is still a little ways out, so we'll have to keep an eye on this, because this is still not certain to happen. But, yeah, well, I mean, really, we'll just have to keep an eye and see if it'll form and if it will really be named or anything. So you can see going towards June 1st, June 2nd, you see that circulation's still pretty strong circulation, honestly. Then as it starts to head north into the Gulf, circulation is still generally good. Maybe it gets a little broader, and then getting onto the land over Louisiana, and then it gets entangled with that front. It dies out. But the circulation, the vorticity, the winds are all showing signs of it becoming a tropical system, a named tropical system. It'll either be Bertha or Cristobal, depending on really what this system ends up doing in the end. But, of course, I really have to just say that it really just depends on what happens over the next week. This still isn't really set in stone. We're getting to that point. We really are getting towards that point where we can really start to think about, hey, is this really actually going to happen? Is this pretty much locked in that this will occur? This system will occur. And I mean, honestly, as of right now, it looks pretty much almost certain. We'll just have to wait another 2-3 days or so to really know that, yeah, this system looks to actually happen. Now, I have to say, just want to point out, what's interesting is that after this potential Western Caribbean Gulf system happens, the tropics seem to somewhat die down in a way. We're not seeing really much general circulations of areas of precipitation. We don't really see too much precipitation in any general area. I mean, the Caribbean, as you can see, is still relatively moist with some decent precipitation throughout, especially in the Eastern Caribbean. So, I mean, of course, this is getting out to June 11th, so this is a good little more than 2 weeks out. So, I mean, of course, this is definitely going to change everything, but it seems like generally, I think the pattern for the tropics will start to die down as we start to head towards mid-June. But I have to say, I do think once June is over, I think we'll have at most 2 storms form and be named by the end. 3, I have to say, 3 I don't really think will occur, but that's still could happen. Doesn't seem way out in the impossibility realm, but we'll just have to keep an eye on that. But really, honestly, this Caribbean system, the GFS has been showing this now for quite a while. It's pretty much doing another kind of Arthur thing. It was the first model to really pick up on this system, and it nailed Arthur. Arthur formed, and it was spot on with Arthur. So we'll see if it's spot on with this system as well, because I do have to say, I think the GFS has been really remarkable so far this year for the tropics. The Euro, honestly, I'm honestly somewhat sad to say that the Euro's not doing that great. And we all think of the Euro as the kind of the best forecast model to use. The GFS is arguably the second best, but I do think the GFS and the Euro are at points equally as good. And sometimes the GFS can be a better model. But honestly, that's just honestly for me, this is really just going off of what I've seen it do with the tropics this year. But hey, it's all good. We'll just keep monitoring this in the next video. For the rest of the week, the videos I'll be making, the next probably 1 or 2 will still be tropical discussion videos, and then probably once we get to maybe Thursday, Friday, probably starting Friday, I'll really start to make tropical update videos, particularly, of course, on this potential Western Caribbean into Gulf system that could either become, as of right now, the GFS is showing a moderate to strong tropical storm, or as it's shown in its previous run, a potential Category 2 hurricane, maybe even weak Category 3. Probably not going to become a major hurricane, honestly, but we'll just have to watch and see. Most likely, as of right now, since we're starting to get into that closer time frame within a week, which is really the general farthest you can go out to really predict somewhat accurately. I'll just have to say the system will probably either be a moderately strength tropical storm with sustained winds 50-60 miles per hour, to potentially at most go with a weak Category 2 hurricane at most, if it really takes hold of its environment and the warm waters and everything. Yeah, that's today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.